My girlfriend had been cheating on me for years. To uncover secrets with her mouth, I set up a truth or drink game. Shockingly, it worked. My girlfriend, 32 female, and I, 33 male, have been together for 8 years. Honestly, I thought things had never been more perfect. When we got together, she said she'd only been with one other person sexually. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just don't lie to me about it. I don't care how many people you've been with. Just be honest with me. Anyways, she recently let it slip while we were playing a drinking game at her friend's place that her body count was 43. Want to start a fight in front of her friends, but I was totally taken aback and utterly embarrassed. This particular drinking game had couples guess each other's answers, so I had to guess what she was going to put. I was sure she was going to say 2, but then it comes out and she says 43. The look on my face must have said it all. Want to make a scene there because we had both been drinking, but when I brought it up the next day, she tried to tell me that she had never told me she'd only ever been with one person. Then we got in a fight about that. She said it was unfair of me to try to peg her as some innocent angel. On top of that, she seemed to have a lot more guy friends than girlfriends, and maybe this was my insecurities coming out, but it always seemed like she behaved in ways that were more than friendly. I feel like sometimes she'd very much flirt with them in front of me, but then play it off like the fact that I had mentioned anything at all was disgusting, because she'd say, "They're like my brothers." I tried to let this go for the longest time. Recently, however, there have been some incidents that have made me question things more deeply. For instance, a few months ago, she started getting very secretive with her phone, something she had never done before. She would receive late-night messages and quickly turn her phone away when I was nearby. I tried to dismiss my concern, thinking I was just being paranoid and insecure. If I ever repeated anything, she'd gaslight me, saying I was being a brat and that I was being the overbearing and controlling boyfriend. She'd say, "I see these guys like my brothers. I've known them since I was a child. It's gross that you'd even think that." Last week, a close friend of mine mentioned seeing her at a cafe with one of her male friends, and their interaction seemed more intimate than just friendship. He said she was grabbing onto his leg, and they were sitting on top of each other. This shook me because it confirmed some of my worst fears. When I confronted her about it, she brushed it off, saying they were just catching up, and that there was nothing more to it again, gaslighting me. The situation has left me feeling confused and insecure. I've always trusted her and believed in our relationship, but now I can't help but wonder if there's something more going on. I don't want to jump to conclusions or make unfounded accusations, but I also can't ignore these feelings of doubt and betrayal. But then again, she just makes me feel like I'm the crazy one. Am I being dramatic here? Am I the problem? We've had multiple discussions about her friendships with men, and each time she reassures me that they're just friends. Yet the secrecy and the way she interacts with some of them make it hard for me to believe that entirely. It's become increasingly difficult to reconcile the person I thought she was with these recent behaviors. And now this cafe incidentee feel like my friend wouldn't lie to me about something like that either. I trust him and his judgment. I'm at a crossroads, unsure of how to proceed. Do I keep trusting her and risk being hurt? Or do I take a stand and demand more transparency and boundaries? The thought of losing her is painful, yes, I know, hard to believe at this point. But so is the thought of continuing a relationship where I can't shake the feeling of betrayal. I need to find a way to address these issues without pushing her away or damaging our relationship. Reddit, what do you think? Is she cheating on me? Am I the crazy one? Wow, that's quite the unexpected revelation during a drinking game. It must have been a real curveball for you, especially since you were so confident about the number. It sounds like you handled the situation with grace, considering the circumstances. It's understandable to feel blindsided and embarrassed, especially when your partner's disclosure catches you off guard in front of friends, and the ensuing argument about your past is just adding more layers to the confusion. It seems like a lot is going on here, from the discrepancy in your sexual histories to the concerns about her behavior with her male friends and the secrecy around her phone. Trust is the cornerstone of any relationship, and it's natural to feel shaken when that trust is called into question. It's a tough situation, and there's no easy answer. From what you've described, there are certainly red flags that warrant further discussion and evaluation. Update 1. Hi, I'm back. A couple of months ago, I came here asking whether or not my girlfriend was cheating on me, and I'm just here to update you all. After posting that story, a lot of you said that she was, and that I had to grow a backbone, confront her, and dump her. Well, I did, but let me just get there first. And then some of you were asking why I was sticking around and what I was holding on to. So here's a little backstory. Yeah, I met my girlfriend Asha at a mutual friend's party. It was one of those ... update to, hi everyone, I'm back with another update. After my last post, I took some time to really think about how to handle the situation. I was between confronting her calmly or doing something more drastic. Ultimately, I decided that the best way to address this was to expose her lies in front of the people she had been deceiving, including the guys she had been cheating with and all of her friends. While trying to act like everything was all good between us, I convinced her that we should host a games night at our place with a bunch of our friends, including some of the new guys she was messaging on Snapchat, whom she claimed were nothing but brothers. It seemed like the perfect opportunity to reveal everything. I figured it would be a dramatic but fitting end to this mess. I spent the week leading up to the games night preparing. I printed out screenshots of her messages and saved videos, organizing them into a folder on my laptop. I also backed up everything on a USB drive, just in case. I wanted to make sure I had all the evidence ready for when the time came. On the day of the games night, I tried to act as normally as possible. I didn't want to raise any suspicions. I helped Asha set up snacks and drinks, and we arranged the living room for our guests. As everyone started arriving, I could feel my heart racing, but I knew I had to keep it together. Honestly, I was choked. The night started pretty well. We were playing some board games, and everyone was laughing and having a good time. I saw her flirting with a guy she had been messaging and smiled, knowing what was coming next. I waited until everyone was settled and fully engaged before I made my move. I stood up and said, "Hey guys, can I have your attention for a minute? I have something important to share." Everyone looked at me a bit confused, but they quieted down. Asha looked puzzled, but didn't seem too concerned yet. I took a deep breath and continued. For our next game, it's time to play Truth or Drink. I pulled out my laptop and connected it to the TV. I opened the folder with the evidence and started showing the screenshots and videos. The room went dead silent as everyone processed what they were seeing. Asha's face turned pale as she tried to grab the laptop, but I moved it away. These are messages and videos Asha has been sending to other guys, some of whom are in this very room, I said, looking directly at a few of her closest male friends. I think you all deserve to know the truth. The room erupted into chaos. Some of the guys were in shock, others were furious. One of her friends, who had been a confidant of hers, looked completely betrayed. Asha tried to defend herself, shouting that I was invading her privacy and that this was a gross overreaction. But the evidence was undeniable, and it had smacked her right in the face. Asha broke down in tears, but I didn't feel any sympathy at that moment. I simply felt relieved that the truth was finally out. After the initial shock wore off, people started leaving, clearly uncomfortable with the situation. Some of them expressed their support for me, while others just left in silence. Asha and I were left alone in the apartment. She tried to talk to me to explain herself, but I couldn't listen anymore. I was done. I told her to pack her things and leave. In the days that followed, she confessed to cheating on me throughout our whole relationship. She'd been talking to some of these guys even before our time. She admitted to being a serial cheater. I blocked her on all social media and changed the locks on the house. It's been a difficult time, but I'm starting to feel like I can move on. The support from our mutual friends has been helpful, and I'm focusing on rebuilding my life without her and looking ahead with some optimism. A lot of our mutual friends have turned their backs on her. The guys who had been cozying up to her have dropped her like a sack of potatoes. They all thought they were the only ones aside from me, of course. They each thought they were the special one that was causing her to falter in her relationship, the apple of her eye. Not only that, but I heard from a friend that her professional life also suffered. Rumors of her infidelity and unethical behavior spread like wildfire throughout her office. I guess there were some wives and partners calling in and causing a lot of drama with the men at work there because of their activity with Asha. I guess she was pretty busy canoodling with the men in the office to dot her credibility and integrity came into question, jeopardizing her career prospects and opportunities for advancement. I heard she's on a leave of absence right now. To anyone going through something similar, trust your instincts and don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. It's hard, but you deserve honesty and respect in a relationship always. Thanks to everyone here who gave me advice and support. It helped me get through this. Hope you don't hear from me ever again. Over and out. Here are my thoughts on the story. Asterisk. Well, folks, this is why you don't let your girlfriend collect brothers like Pokemon cards. Eventually, one of them's gonna evolve into a full-blown affair. Shout out to OP for turning truth or drink into truth or get your life ruined. Because nothing spices up game night like exposing a serial cheater with the dramatic flair of a Netflix thriller. Moral of the story: if your partner's body count suddenly jumps from 2 to 43 like a glitch in the Matrix, or their phone is more guarded than Fort Knox, maybe don't adopt a dog together. Just saying. Asterisk PS, Usha's now living the consequences of her own rom-com villain origin story. Karma's a better screenwriter than she ever be.